Galileo is the reason why today we observe the universe in a radically different method than we would back in the 1600s when we believed the world revolved around the Earth. The universe revolved around the Earth. And besides his theory that proved this wrong, the heliocentric theory, he has contributed many other things, such as the telescope, which help us today chart many unchartable areas millions of galaxies away. The scientific work done by Galileo was and still is remarkable for the resources given at the time, and today we still recognize the great importance of his contributions to science and all of his other research that he's given to us. Galileo was born in Pisa, Italy, as one of 6 children, quoted by Fincio Maurice. His education began at the University of Pisa, or after being pushed by his father to become a medical doctor, he decided, no, I'd rather be a mathematician. So not long after he went to the university, he received a degree in that and moved to the University of Padua, where he taught math and science and started contributing to many of the theories of the time dealing with astrology and other mathematical and scientific areas. One of his discoveries, one of his most profound discoveries there was the one involving astrology. And at one time, before all his education began, Galileo was heavily considering following a life as a holy man and becoming a priest. His discoveries and works in mathematics, Galileo was one of the first scientists to and mathematician to claim that the laws of nature were in fact were governed by mathematics and not just some random array of things that float around us. In astrology, most notably the invention that he made, that he didn't make but contributed to greatly, was the telescope, which was before just used for war and other such things. He used this to chart all the moon and the path of it, and nothing like this had been done before. Galileo was the first to direct it at the moon and the sky, making systematic notebooks of what he saw, quoted by Anton Ted. As well, he contributed to what Copernicus said, saying that the heliocentric theory was true, but we'll talk about this later. As well, he contributed to the Kepler theories of tides, and here, along with the help of Kepler, he pretty much said that the waves can be are affected by the lunar pattern, and this was kind of radical. But again, Copernicus he brought forth evidence which supported the Copernican hypotheses in relation to the physics of tides, quoted by Palin Stacy. Galileo's first magnification of his telescope was only 3 times our eye, and at the end of his lifespan, he had made one up that was 30 times the human eye, and was able to observe the craters on the moon and stars that could barely be made out by the human eye. Well, in the heliocentric theory and controversy, Copernicus was the first to bring up this idea, but he didn't bring it up during his lifespan because he knew the Catholic Church would renounce what he said, so he published it after his death. And Galileo published a defense of the heliocentric theory based on the hard empirical evidence, quoted by Theo Leslie Paul. Galileo, he was the first of a group of scientists to endorse the theory that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe, which contradicted the Church and was actually quite a profound thing to say, which we wouldn't even think of today. It's just what we were brought up knowing, but in that time that was a very important idea. He was charged by the Catholic Church with heresy. In 1633, he recanted and was condemned by the Inquisition and put under house arrest, quoted by Pater Vincent G. The Church took its stance against Galileo due to this quote: "The Lord set the earth on its foundations. It can never be moved. which pretty much said that, hey, God put this here, and we are the sinner because, he said it never moves, so everything must revolve around us. That was a simplistic idea brought forth by the Catholic community at the time. In conclusion, although his greatest theory left him in house arrest, it would, without his research and everything he'd done for us, space programs that we have today that took us to the moon and Mars possibly would not be possible, as well as his patterns of planets contributed by the Keeper theories would be impossible. Beginning with his studies at his university, to the things he added in the field of mathematics, as well as astrology, tide theories, today would truly just not be the same without Galileo. So the next time you take a look through the telescope or look up at the stars, remember that all that work that was put in by Galileo. But tracking the stars as well as low tide, high tide would all be impossible to track.